Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was that a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like jokey. She was like, oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's the man.
Michelle Obama surprised fans on our new podcast by saying her pet peeve about her husband is that he's chronically late. For example, we're still waiting on him to admit he's from Kenya. And as for Barack's pet peeve about Michelle, he's mad that she keeps leaving the toilet seat up. When she cleans it. When she cleans it.
The real question is whether Michelle Obama is untouchable. It's how Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld managed to dismantle her carefully crafted image without even breaking a sweat. One moment, she's the nation's favorite book club queen. The next, she's ducking Rogan's blunt critiques and Gutfeld's razor-sharp one-liners like it's rhetorical dodgeball in the White House gym. They didn't just question her legacy. They shredded it with sarcasm and handed it back gift-wrapped in skepticism. So, what exactly did they expose that sent Michelle into media silence? Let's just say, it's messier than the kale chip cafeteria fiasco.
Joe Rogan is calling out Oprah and Michelle Obama for hypocritical speeches at the DNC. Watch.
She's up there talking about income inequality. Like, hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as Like, how is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, you know, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
Like, you are worth so much money.
Take more than they need. The Obamas have 4 mansions.
I mean, it's a bunch of rich people talking about rich.
Michelle Obama once tried to convince an entire generation that limp spinach and quinoa mush counted as a revolution, a culinary uprising led by soggy kale and unseasoned lentils. That wasn't a health initiative. It was a full-blown assault on flavor. Yet there she was, marching into cafeterias with salad tongs like she was storming Normandy, armed with nothing but chickpeas and moral superiority.
So, President dies, everyone in the world shows up, and she doesn't break her vacation? It's not like she doesn't have access to a jet. Something is going on. Let's speculate.
Yes, please.
It's either surgery.
Oh.
That was my least controversial thing.
Depends what kind of surgery.
She will not sit close to the dictator. And by that, I don't mean Hillary, I mean Donald Trump. Or there's trouble in paradise between Barack and Michelle. I've heard things. I'm not going to substantiate that by repeating these rumors on national TV like I just did. But I'm just saying it's very odd that she's not there.
Yeah, we should ask Mike.
Enter Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld. The unlikely duo no one asked for, but apparently the only pair bold enough to say what everyone else mumbles between sips of green juice. Michelle Obama's brand? A glossy mashup of Pinterest quotes. Yoga pose hypocrisy, and the longest TED Talk ever masquerading as a presidential legacy.
Or the first woman
We already
president.
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty funny how she said it.
Okay, we all know it.
Let's be clear, this isn't about hating on a former First Lady. It's about calling out the weaponized sanctimony of someone who managed to turn drink water into both a moral crusade and a personality trait. You'd think she invented H2O herself. Meanwhile, the rest of us were just trying to stop our kids from swapping their mandated celery sticks for something edible on the underground snack market that her lunch rules accidentally inspired.
Michelle Obama has openly admitted that she and Barack sleep in separate bedrooms. Here's how it works. She sleeps downstairs, and he likes men.
Greg Gutfeld couldn't resist feasting on the irony. Michelle Obama's war on junk food, all while her own White House dinners look like Whole Foods staged a hostage situation. Organic? Sure. Edible? Questionable. He joked that there's only so much you can do with beet hummus before it qualifies as culinary assault and someone calls the authorities.
It's good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III. COVID was just so strange. We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive. Yeah. Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct energy weapons in Antarctica.
Then there's Joe Rogan, the human lie detector armed with a mic and no filter. He's made a career out of grilling sacred cows, and Michelle Obama, she's the golden calf of curated progressivism. This is a woman who rocks biceps like she's training for a Marvel franchise, only to turn around and lecture Americans on the sin of enjoying a slice of pizza. Rogan summed it up perfectly. What's the calorie count on self-righteousness? And then he aimed straight at her Netflix empire. Because nothing says relatable like inking multi-million-dollar content deals while telling the rest of us to stay grounded. Naturally, Greg Gutfeld pounced. The self-described gremlin of late-night TV skewered her soft focus, glow-filtered narrative with surgical sarcasm. Her documentary? A slow-motion tribute to herself. Equal parts ego and cinematic fog machine. Every public appearance is lit like a perfume ad. Every speech marinated in the same motivational syrup you'd find at TED Talks sponsored by a yoga retreat. Together, Rogan and Gutfeld didn't just crack Michelle's image. They bulldozed through it with punchlines and precision. Her brand may be all about grace and grit, but when stripped of the spotlights and applause, it starts to feel a lot more like a lifestyle blog with Secret Service.
Michelle thinks American men suck.
Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. To make these choices clear to the men that we love, our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? It's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump.
And we still haven't even touched on the infamous "when they go low, we go high" line, arguably the most passive-aggressive slogan in modern politics. Translation? We're better than you. And here's a bumper sticker to remind you. Michelle Obama has practically trademarked moral superiority, packaged it in hardcover, and now offer the audiobook in 5 languages. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan was off raising eyebrows like barbells, questioning Michelle's miraculous evolution from salad czar to spiritual sage without ever facing tough scrutiny. How exactly do we leap from school lunch reform to soul-deep meditations on finding our voice? Is there a GPS setting for that, or do we just follow the scent of artisanal candles? Michelle's image is so meticulously curated, it makes Barbie look like cinema verite. The yoga poses, the backlit Instagram photos, the perfectly timed, candid laughter. It's not authenticity. It's a living inspirational poster. Somewhere between live, laugh, love, and eat more kale. There she is, flashing a radiant smile with a silent judgment of someone who definitely side-eyes your grocery cart.
Someone put on Instagram, I believe, that Tim Dillon's video where he was saying that Michelle Obama should run for president. If she won, she could pull her cock out and China would just give up. I was fucking wheezing. I couldn't breathe. Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Greg Gutfeld had an absolute field day with Michelle Obama's evolution from First Lady to global brand ambassador of empty platitudes. He joked he nearly needed a neck brace from shaking his head at her LinkedIn-level wisdom. Believe in yourself. Thanks. Michelle should help cover rent. What's next? Manifest your credit score? And then there's the fashion praise. Michelle wears a belt. Suddenly, it's breaking news. CNN treats a cardigan like it deserves a Pulitzer. You'd think she was negotiating peace deals in the Lincoln bedroom, not just layering knitwear. Gutfeld asked the obvious. Since when did Banana Republic become a political movement? Let's not forget the memoir. That tome is so packed with journeys and vague truths, it could double as a yoga mat. Each page reads like a motivational speech wrapped in trauma breadcrumbs and Instagram captions. It's less a biography and more a lifestyle blog printed on premium stock. Joe Rogan reportedly finished it, walked outside, touched grass, and rewatched Roadhouse, just to remember what reality feels like.
So, Kat, they know that they're having a hard time with men.
Right.
Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
She basically says that they're hurting women by voting for Trump.
But I think they don't understand that where it comes from in the first place is that people are sick of being told how bad they are and talked down to, and you know, the condescension doesn't work. None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football.
Michelle Obama's most impressive magic trick? Convincing America she's the underdog while living in literal palaces. She speaks of the struggle from homes with 6-car garages and beach views, the political equivalent of Marie Antoinette giving a TED Talk on minimalism. Greg Gutfeld summed it up best. Her idea of adversity is probably running out of organic quinoa at Whole Foods. Remember when she was dubbed the relatable First Lady? Because nothing says down to earth like custom chandeliers, curated dinner parties, and Secret Service agents trained like Navy SEALs. She insists she's just a mom. Sure, a mom with a stylist, a chef, and someone to workshop Instagram captions. Joe Rogan nailed it when he said Michelle's public image feels like one long episode of View, only without the mercy of commercial breaks. Every statement she makes is dipped in moralism, slow roasted until it's beige, and served up like political tofu, bland, preachy, and somehow always on a menu. And don't even get started on the media coverage. Michelle could sneeze and would be hailed as a powerful act of defiance against patriarchal allergens. Gutfeld mocked how the press treats her like the offspring of Gandhi and Beyonce, which raises an eyebrow or two. What exactly are we missing? A rogue carb? Rogan took aim at the health narrative too. The woman who traumatized school children with beige apple slices and lentil loaf now wants to be America's wellness coach. You can't gaslight a generation into eating kale and then rebrand yourself as a cultural messiah. That's not leadership. It's culinary Stockholm syndrome.
Rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men.
Let's be real. Michelle Obama's greatest talent isn't public speaking. It's the art of saying absolutely nothing while making it sound profound. Every speech is a carefully tossed word salad, with just enough croutons of meaning to trick people into thinking they're consuming something substantial. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan sat back wondering if the real meat of the message was served backstage, probably by someone named Skylar in a gluten-free apron. Greg Gutfeld, never one to miss a chance to skewer a myth, zeroed in on the idea of Michelle as a unifying national figure. Please, this is someone who divides public opinion harder than pineapple on pizza. Her brand of unity only shines on those who already agree with her. It's selective enlightenment, a lighthouse with blinders. And don't get started on the fitness crusade. Somehow, Michelle managed to politicize exercise. If you weren't ready to lunge your way to salvation with her judging you from your TV, you were labeled part of the obesity epidemic. Gutfeld joked that somewhere, a donut cried itself to sleep. Rogan wasn't far behind. He pointed out that Michelle's relentless inspirational messaging is so aggressively motivational, it borders on oppressive. She's a human embodiment of being forced into a book club you never joined. Every comment a life lesson, even if all you wanted was a cheeseburger and 5 minutes of silence.
Even if they run Michelle. According to a new poll, Michelle Obama isn't as strong a Democratic candidate against former President Donald Trump as many Dems would have you believe. In a hypothetical matchup, my favorite kind, Trump wins with 47% of the vote compared to Michelle Obama's 44%. I guess some of the kids whose school lunches she ruined are finally old enough to vote. Remember that?
And then there's a podcast. Yes, Michelle Obama has won, because of course she does. It's less a show and more a soothing audio blanket for people who've never been told no. Each episode is a gentle soak in pseudo-wisdom, with a recurring message that Michelle has once again ascended to a plane of personal growth none of us mere mortals could hope to reach. Joe Rogan played a few clips and swore he could actually feel himself aging from the second-hand condescension. Greg Gutfeld wasn't far behind, cracking wise about the upcoming Michelle Obama presidential library, envisioned somewhere between a shrine to self-help and a day's spa for the spiritually overachieving. The shelves? Filled entirely with her own memoirs, flanked by bowls of affirmation stones and artisan essential oils. Admission? Probably requires a detox smoothie and a handwritten essay on emotional vulnerability. Michelle has managed to perfect the art of being omnipresent while remaining elusive. She's ambient now. You don't seek her out. She just appears like background jazz at a farmer's market. Soothing, familiar, and vaguely manipulative. Rogan joked that if she released a fragrance, it would reek of moral superiority and steamed broccoli, with a base note of filtered authenticity. Gutfeld added the bottle will be shaped like a recycled globe and only sold to those enrolled in her 12-week wellness plan. Becoming but with burpees. And now the whispers, the rumors, that Michelle might run for president. Because when you've let your America on lunches, lunges, and living your truth, what's left? Leading the country. Apparently. Gutfeld laughed so hard he nearly fell out of his chair. Because nothing screams political outsider quite like someone who spent 16 years inside the most powerful rooms on earth.
None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football. Like, who's consulting them on this stuff?
Yeah. It's
a woman, probably, also.
It's a gay man.
So what have we learned? Michelle Obama is the undisputed queen of curated struggle, the empress of empowerment buzzwords, and the first lady of filtered authenticity. But thanks to Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld, the polish has finally worn thin. What's underneath isn't some sinister mastermind, just a meticulous brand manager wrapped in soft-focus lighting, selling inspiration like it's a lifestyle subscription. She's not leading a movement. She's marketing a mood. This is a woman who might actually drop a book titled Still Becoming. The Journey to Journeying. Stuffed with 300 pages of sunrise metaphors and kale-based parables, plus a bonus playlist and a salad dressing recipe that tastes like wistful compromise. Her brand is built on the illusion of ascension. When they go low, she goes high and then charges $$29.99 for the altitude. Michelle didn't just rebrand herself, she franchised it. She became the Oprah of broccoli, the Dalai Lama of dumbbells, the self-help mogul of filtered adversity. Every public moment is a polished performance. Arms flexed, lighting perfect, message vague but affirming. Simplicity is preached, yet every appearance screams curated luxury. Humility is sold, even as she's treated like the high priestess of moral superiority. Rogan noted how she manages to sound profound while saying next to nothing, like watching a TED Talk about clouds. Gutfeld mocked the media's reverence, compared to canonizing a lifestyle coach with a penchant for beige cardigans and buzzwords. It's not critique, it's worship. It's not coverage, it's canon. Michelle Obama has become a one-woman factory of feel-good narratives, each anecdote smoother than the last, every contradiction ignored beneath a halo of admiration. If branding were an Olympic sport, Michelle would have 5 golds, a Netflix docuseries, and a line of vegan protein bars called Authenticity Bites. And yet, no one's allowed to ask, what exactly are we applauding?